My name is Rob Higgins. I'm President and CEO of the Tampa Bay Super Bowl LV Host Committee. And welcome to the kickoff for our hometown's 5th Super Bowl. Who's excited? The Super Bowl Host Committee would like to welcome everybody to today's kickoff, which actually is on the eve of the NFL's regular season kicking off tomorrow. Before we get started, we'd like to take a moment to recognize that our thoughts are with all the people that have been impacted by Hurricane Dorian. So certainly our thoughts and prayers continue to be with them. Now, you can't have your 5th Super Bowl, 1984, 1991, 2001, and 2009 were our first 4. You can't have your 5th without those first 4, and those first 4 would not have been possible without a young man that's in the audience today. He's 86 years young, and I can tell you he's going to be as big a part of this 5th Super Bowl as he was the first 4. So let's give a round of applause for Leonard Levy. Also at the core of our host effort is our Tampa Bay Sports Commission board, several of which are here today, our staff, and our chair, Jeff Adams, who's in attendance. Jeff has been integrally involved in just about every major event over the last 25 years here. So let's give a round of applause to Jeff. There's no doubt we have an angel smiling down on us right now as well. The gentle giant Leroy Selman passed away 8 years ago today. And there's not a day that we don't think about Leroy and thank him for everything, and we know he's going to be with us every step of the way. USF continues to be a great partner of the Super Bowl Host Committee, and Michael Kelley, their Vice President of Athletics, is here as well. Welcome back to Tampa. Michael ran the 2001 Super Bowl Host Committee, and we're so fortunate to have his leadership with us throughout as USF serves as one of our practice sites. Let's give Michael a round of applause. I want to thank our tag team partner, Santiago Carrata from Visit Tampa Bay. Him and Jolynn and Alex and Patrick, their whole crew has been phenomenal. They work hand in hand with us on all these major events. Santiago, thank you for all that you do as well. Now, we wouldn't get Super Bowls if we didn't have the absolute best ownership in all of professional football. So I'd like to welcome to the stage Tampa Bay Buccaneers owner and co-chairman Bryan Glazer to say a few words.
Good afternoon. The job of an NFL owner in trying to get the Super Bowl is very straightforward. You go around the room, you talk to the other owners, and you try to convince them why they should come to your area and why that you should host a Super Bowl. And I'm lucky because I have the easiest job in the world, to sell this community. Selling the Tampa Bay area is just walking around the room talking about the sunshine, the hotels, the people. It makes my job very easy. But it's not a one-man job. We start the process, and then we have the help of the people, of the other people in this room, and the team that's going to be helping us bring the Super Bowl across the finish line. We have a great community. We have great people. I want to thank Commissioner Hagan, Mayor, and our 2 chairs. I was talking about Derrick having Super Bowl 55 here, and how special that would be for Derrick. And I was talking to Will last year when this was all going down, when we were talking about getting the Super Bowl, and I said, Will, what if we don't get the Super Bowl in Super Bowl 55? He said, well, if we get Super Bowl 56, we'll just get Ryan Neese. Ryan Neese was number 56 on our team, so it's a great thing. Our community comes together for these Super Bowls. We're very proud that the NFL is rewarding us after putting $150 million into the stadium. That is something we're very proud of. Raymond James Stadium is a fantastic stadium, and we look forward to the whole community and the whole world centering on this area in 2021. So we thank you.
I love Ryan Neese, and I think he's going to be great running the Super Bowl in LA. Thank you so much, Bryan. And we also have Buccaneers owner and co-chairman Darcy Kasowitz here. We're thrilled that she'll also be serving on our host committee and helping lead our community engagement efforts. So let's give Darcy a round of applause as well. There's no doubt a fifth Super Bowl wouldn't be coming to our community without the recent $160 million renovation to Raymond James Stadium right here. That renovation was made possible through the great partnership and generosity of the Glazer family, the Tampa Sports Authority in Hillsborough County. We're about to hear from our friends at the county and the city momentarily, but I'd like to give a round of applause for the Tampa Sports Authority, their board, and Eric Hart for their continued support of Super Bowls right here in our community. Now, please welcome to the stage our next speaker. He's been a true champion of Team Tampa Bay, our Super Bowl bid, as well as all of our hosting efforts. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Hillsborough County Board of County Commissioners, Ken Hagan.
Well, thank you, Rob, for the very kind introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm absolutely delighted to be here for today's Super Bowl kickoff, although I almost missed it because for some reason I showed up at $1 thinking the press conference was there. I was wondering why everyone was looking at me, a little strange. But on behalf of the Board of County Commissioners, I want to say how excited we are to be hosting our fifth Super Bowl in 2021. As Rob said, we like to say it's game day every day here in Tampa Bay. And thanks to Rob and his team, I can tell you Team Tampa Bay has been on one incredible winning streak. It's safe to say that over the last decade, our lineup of events is second to no one. We've hosted so many major events that at times it's easy to forget all of the major events that have been held here. If you think about just the last 3 years, going back to 2016, when we hosted our second NCAA Men's Frozen Four. In 2017, we hosted only the third college football playoff national championship and the very first in the Southeast. Last year, we hosted our second NHL All-Star Weekend. In April of this year, we hosted our third NCAA Women's Final Four. This coming March Madness will be back in Tampa as we host our fourth NCAA Men's Basketball Tournament. A month later, in April, our very first WrestleMania. And then, of course, in February of 2021, our fifth Super Bowl. Talk about a community being on a roll. In fact, it says a lot about Tampa Bay that only 3 cities have hosted more Super Bowls than us: Miami, LA, and New Orleans. There are many reasons why so many cities covet a Super Bowl and also are willing to pledge, on average, $15 million in public funding in order to host this event. Because whether you like football or not, the Super Bowl is the biggest event in America. It's also the most watched event in America. And the thing is, it's not just one event. It is a week-long experience of events, celebrations, parties, most of which are open to the public. You also have the economic impact. The 2017 Super Bowl in Houston generated $450 million in local gross spending and reported 337 hotel visitor room nights. The 2018 Super Bowl in Minnesota reported $428 million in local gross spending and 226,000 hotel room nights. But in addition to the economic impact, when you consider the social impact and the worldwide exposure, there's no wonder why so many cities covet a Super Bowl. Our community has been extremely blessed to host so many major events in recent years, but make no mistake, there's no other event like the Super Bowl. We are extremely proud to be hosting our fifth Super Bowl, and Tampa Bay intends to exceed all expectations and to make this game and the experience the best Super Bowl ever. Thank you.
Thanks, Commissioner. There's no doubt this great run of events is due in large part to the community continuing to invest in these events and as well as our facilities. Also, a huge part of our community is the military. And with us, joining us today is Lieutenant General Tom Bergeson from Central Command, as well as Command Chief Greg Smith, who is SOCOM's Senior Enlisted Advisor. Let's give them a round of applause. Now we get to hear from another great partner of ours who's hit the ground running as our new mayor. She's no stranger to big events, having helped us recruit our 3 women's Final Fours to our community. Our most recent one is included in that this past April and has been a big part of Team Tampa Bay in so many different roles, and now we're lucky to have her as our mayor. Please welcome Mayor Jane Castor from the city of Tampa.
Thank you, Rob. What an exciting day this is for Tampa Bay. So 1984, the first Super Bowl we had, that's the year I started out as a police officer. So I was 12 when I started as a police officer, clearly. But, so I have worked behind the scenes for every single Super Bowl. So one of the things I'm looking forward to in Super Bowl 55 is that I'm not in the EOC anymore, that I might actually be able to see the game. It'll be a first for me. But this is so exciting for our community. Said hello to Derrick Brooks earlier. He informed me that from this point forward, it will be known as the Derrick Brooks Super Bowl. So just get used to it. All right, all the marketing people, get used to it. And I guess Ryan Neese can have his next year in LA, but this is the one. And hopefully this will be the one where we have the home team to come and win a Super Bowl in Tampa. That's what I'm talking about. That would be wonderful. But this wouldn't be possible if it weren't for individuals like Leonard, the Glazers, everything that everyone in this audience has played a part in this, in bringing this event here. And unless you have gone out and participated in recruiting these events to the Tampa Bay area, you don't realize how many moving parts there are and how you have to have a team that is working together, that is a well-oiled machine to be able to bring different groups, different events into the Tampa Bay area. And we have that here. We have that here, and we all benefit from it. Mostly, the Tampa Bay area benefits from it. If you guys haven't driven around Tampa lately, you may notice that our new city bird is the crane. We have development going on everywhere. And now the deadline is Super Bowl. That's all they want all the hotels done by Super Bowl. So I thank you for that deadline as well, because we're having the development in this city is booming without a doubt. But what this does for our community, clearly it's an economic driver. But more importantly, it puts us out there on the world stage so that everyone, all of those millions of people that are watching Super Bowl, get to see what we call paradise here in the Tampa Bay area, and where we get to live, work, and play every single day. So it is so exciting to have that opportunity one more time to showcase all that is great with Tampa Bay. So I can't wait to welcome the Derrick Brooks Super Bowl into the Tampa Bay area, and I thank everyone who has played a part in bringing it here. And I echo Commissioner Ken Hagan. He and I talked earlier that there should just be a rotation for the Super Bowl, and that Tampa should be on that rotation, I would say every 3 years, because this is the best place to have it. So we're on it. Ken Hagan and I are on it. Thank you all very much.
Thanks, Mayor. About a year ago, we formed a dream team of sorts. We said to ourselves, why have one great head coach when we can have 2? And so we turned to these next 2 head coaches, which you'll meet over these next couple of segments. Up first, a young man, and I can say that because he's technically younger than me. It's good. I never usually get an opportunity to say that. That grew up right down the street at Land O'Lakes. He and his 5 brothers played high school football there, and then all went on to play college football. And then once his playing days were over, he became the Speaker of the House for the state of Florida. And I can tell you, I've enjoyed so much over this last year getting a chance to work with him. Ladies and gentlemen, our co-chairman of the Tampa Bay Super Bowl LV Host Committee, Will Weatherford.
Thanks, Rob. What a great day. Thank you all for being here and for helping make this a reality. It's a real honor to serve as co-chair of this Super Bowl. But I have to say, make no mistake, there's a big chair and a little chair, not so much a co-chair, both literally and figuratively. So I plan to spend my next, 16 or 17 months carrying his helmet and pads around. So if you see me toting pads and a helmet around, you'll know why. It'll be for the big chair, Derrick Brooks. I do have to take a point of personal privilege and say, when you grow up as a kid and your favorite player on the Florida State Seminoles is Derrick Brooks, and your favorite player on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers years later is Derrick Brooks, and one day you get to co-chair a Super Bowl with Derrick Brooks, that's what dreams are made of. And so it's a very humbling opportunity to do this with you, Derrick. Thanks to great leaders like Rob Higgins and the Tampa Bay Sports Commission and so many organizations here in Tampa Bay, we always step up for big events. Every time there's a unique opportunity for Tampa to host a substantial event, we step up. It could be the Women's Final Four. It could be the National Championship game. I see Carlos Alfonso in the crowd. He was the chairman for that event. I'm convinced that we ran that event so well that it's one of the reasons we got Super Bowl 55. And so we always step up, but that's because we have great public partners in the county and in the city, and with many agencies like Visit Tampa Bay and the Tampa Bay Sports Commission and the Florida Sports Foundation and the Tampa Sports Authority all pitching in to make this a reality. But it also requires the private sector to step up in a big way, and that's happened here as well. And so that starts right here. It starts with the Tampa Bay Bucks. It starts with the Glazer family. Great philanthropic business family right here in Tampa Bay, stepping up, making it a financial commitment to make this a reality. But it doesn't just stop there. And so if you would, indulge me for a moment, I'd like to talk about a few of our founding partners. The initial founding partners of this great effort are Tico Energy, an Emera company, Strategic Property Partners, the Tampa Bay Sports and Entertainment, Raymond James, the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Shriners Hospital for Children. And we also have what we refer to as our Forever 55 Partners, which is our legacy philanthropic arm of this event, because we don't just want the Super Bowl to be a one-day event. We want it to be an event that lasts for years and years to come after it comes and goes. We have more partners like Florida Blue, the Glazer Family Foundation, the Vinnick Family Foundation, PNC Bank, and Public Supermarket Charities. We please welcome all of the folks that are here that represent those companies, those organizations that are making this event possible today. Thank you all very much for stepping up. There will be many other opportunities for those in the business community to step up as well here in the next several months. And we will be formulating a formal executive committee and also an advisory committee as we go forward to prepare for this very large event. And lastly, I'll leave you with this. There are very few opportunities where a community or a region has the chance to show itself on the global stage. The Super Bowl affords itself the opportunity for a community like Tampa Bay and the surrounding counties around us to showcase ourselves to the world. There will be 5,000 members of the media here representing hundreds of countries. There'll be over 100 million people watching this game, representing 230 countries from around the world. This is the most watched event in the world, bar none, and the spotlight will be right here on Tampa Bay. We're ready for the moment. I think we're prepared for it, and we're going to do a great job showing everyone why this is our home and all the great things that we have to offer. So thank you for your partnership. Thank you to the sponsors. I look forward to working with each and every one of you.
Thanks so much, Will. I'd also like to recognize State Senator Elizabeth Benaquisto for joining us this afternoon from down in Fort Myers area. She's going to be participating with us as well, and we're certainly excited to have her on board. I mentioned we have two great head coaches. We think of them internally as our offensive and defensive coordinators. Certainly our defensive coordinator needs no introduction. He's synonymous, especially in this stadium, with defense as well as Tampa Bay. So you couldn't have Super Bowl 55 without Mr. Number 55, Derrick Brooks, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you all for joining us, and give honor to God for having us here. And again, I'd like to believe things are strategically get aligned. When it was announced that Super Bowl 55 was perhaps going out west to another team, and Tampa Bay was able to step in, and that's synonymous with my number. As I was sitting here thinking, man, this is crazy. My phone rang and it said Rob Higgins. I said, oh boy. How can I help you? He said, how can I help you? Do you not know? I said, Rob, sadly, I think I do. I would love to join whatever efforts that we have in making this Super Bowl the best possible Super Bowl ever. And as I thought about this role in joining Will Weatherford, my co-head coach, and performing this, my thoughts went back, honestly, to Mr. Malcolm Glazer. And when I asked him at our first Super Bowl that we had back in 2001, in conversations with him one time, I said, Mr. G, what does it take to put on a Super Bowl? He said, well, Derrick, I'd rather we play in one. I said, me too. But what does it take? And he said it takes a lot of effort, a lot of work. And he shared with me his passion about making sure that Tampa got his Super Bowl that some thought should go somewhere else. And it's with that spirit that I bring to our committee and our city in terms of being a co-leader here to make sure we put on our best, to make sure we fast forward those efforts from Mr. G back in the early 2000s, that we're still doing things just as good and at a better level with more class and more people, more resources behind it to make it one that we can be proud of. Now, I'm a competitive person by nature. And I would just sadly say, I know there's another Super Bowl 54 that's going on to the south of us. I would rather see our team play in that one in addition to Super Bowl 55. I would like to see back-to-back. But I'd just like for us to represent the state of Florida as a whole, me being a Floridian, that for the next 24 months that this state gets 2 Super Bowls. We got a chance to showcase our state and making sure that we're going to be the best of all the other 49 partners, that we can go and do a long way in doing that and represent Tampa very well. And another key component to legacy is our social legacy that's going to leave an imprint well beyond the game. And this pulls at my heartstrings in terms of what I believe in as a core, and that's our community. And where do we give back? Where does this imprint of this Super Bowl really show its true measures? As Mr. Weatherford talked about, the economic impact. And believe me, as Commissioner Hagan said, we're going to be impacted in a positive way when we get to all our business entities by everyone that's represented in here. But the true measure in my heart is in the community. It's a social impact that we're going to be obligated, not only to just fulfill, but obviously leave the best legacy possible of the other prior 54 Super Bowls. And we had a good taste of that in 2017 with the college football playoffs. When they came here, they committed over $1 million back into our Extra Yard for Teachers program. But we had such a beautiful impact, and it was so much involvement behind it that they committed another $200,000 in 2018 back into the Extra Yard for Teachers program. That's the social legacy that I'm excited about with our Super Bowl, Super Bowl 55, and our legacy piece. Now, it had nothing to do with this name, but we're going to be rolling this social piece out later this fall. It's going to be called Forever 55. Again, I had no vote on that name whatsoever, but our legacy initiative is going to be named Forever 55. As we impact that area, what we plan to do here around education, around children, childhood education, all these things that allow us to have sustainable programs back into our youth and our teachers, to me, that's just as exciting as the business impact that's going to be had on our community here in Tampa with Super Bowl 55. So as we roll out Forever 55 later this fall, again, we're going to call on all our community partners to join the excitement as well in terms of creating a legacy for our children that's going to be sustained well beyond Super Bowl 55. So again, thank you all for showing up today and being a part of us. It's a lot of hard work moving forward, but I believe in team. My simple acronym for team is together everybody achieves more. And many of you probably have heard me say this, and I say how. It's through trust, effort, accountability, and motivation. And we're going to have to be motivated. And my motivation, synonymous with this saying here, motivation is like taking a bath or a shower. You do it every day or you stink. So I want you guys to stay motivated. Thank you.
He may not have come up with the name Forever 55, but he was the first one to second the motion. I promise you that. I promise you that. So as you can see, we've got phenomenal leaders on board. So what was the next step? We needed a great host committee logo. It's a logo that we believe shows how far we've come since the last time we hosted in 2009, and it shows us where we're going in the future, far beyond February of 2021. So you guys ready to take a look at our Super Bowl host committee logo? Are you guys ready to take a look at our Super Bowl host committee logo? Let's take a look.
Four Super Bowls that no one will ever forget.
Raymond James Stadium in Tampa.
And the Lombardi Trophy will go to the Los Angeles Raiders.
Touchdown! The 50, down the sideline, and he's going to go. Throws to the back of the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown.
This isn't a story about how far we've come as a community. This is a story about where we are going. Together, we're headed forward forever.
What do you guys think? Here's a little background on the logo, just to give you a little context. We wanted a mark that would be inspired by words like progressive, fluid, warmth, energetic, and dynamic. The colors, I believe you'll recognize, they certainly reflect the Buccaneers' red and pewter, as well as incorporating varying blues that certainly represent our great waters. The font is inspired by the Bucs, and obviously with the nautical theme, we feel like the Tampa Bay is big and bold, and it's like our community propelling the ship forward. The elements themselves, in terms of the dimensionality, what we call forced perspective, it reflects this fast-moving community that we are and the fact that we're headed forward from February and beyond of 2021. The ship draws from our rich history of Gasparilla, as well as the Buccaneers, I mentioned the water. The water is the backbone to our overall experience. From the Riverwalk to Water Street, Tampa, Super Bowl LV in February 2021 is going to be unlike any other. We wanted some representation in there. 2 5s, 55. Derrick told us we had to do it. So you've got 5 sails that represent our 5 Super Bowls, as well as the 5 laces of the football that represent how we are bound and committed to that Forever 55 program and the pillars of making sure this Super Bowl has a tremendous social impact on our community. So with that, we have a host committee logo that we absolutely love, and we hope you do too. What do you think? Great. Thanks again to all of our host committee partners and everybody for attending today. We're going to take a few group photos, do some one-on-one interviews. Please be sure to check out our new website, tampabaylv.com. We actually have your very first piece of Tampa Bay Super Bowl host committee memorabilia that you can grab on the way out. We ask that our founding and Forever 55 partners hang with us for a few minutes after on the stage for a photo opportunity. And then everybody in the audience as well will be treated to a great photo opportunity in both the bowl of the stadium, if you're interested in that with the new logo, and then downstairs in the lobby as well. Together. And that's the word that has made us so successful as a community. Together. We're going to work hard over these next 17 months, both day and night, to make sure the Super Bowl LV is the best ever. Team Tampa Bay, guys, we're headed forward forever. Thanks, everybody.